Hiya, welcome back to another episode here on the podcast. This is just the beginning. This is episode 20. I can't believe how many episodes I've actually done recently. And we've hit the 20s, so that's so exciting. Today I kind of wanted to talk about, and I'll get into it in a bit, but new month, new mindset attitude. I know it's the 8th of October today, but I've been wanting to do this podcast for a while, but the past week I've been just so busy with the start of term again. So today is the first day. It's a weekend. It's the first day I have to really sit down with you guys and talk it all out with you. Please do excuse me. I always hate it when podcasters say this, but like I have freshman's flu right now. I'm not feeling the best. I've got such bad cough and my nose is all stuffy and my voice is gone, but I still want to do this episode. I still want to record stuff because it's my own little time with myself as well. So I hope you don't mind that too much this episode. I'll try and keep it nice and short for you guys as well. But yeah, I want to get into a weekly recap or just a recap of the last few weeks really since my last episode. This week has been so crazy. Like, it's been the start of the term and it's just been so crazy. If you didn't, I don't know whether I told you, but I switched courses. Last year I was doing modern languages with linguistics, which meant I only really had like one module on linguistics and like the rest on like German and Spanish. So I found it kind of easy because I was only doing like one assignment for linguistics, and obviously languages was just like speaking sessions, translation, like it was just kind of just average, and I was really struggling to find stuff to do. Like I was bored, and I think that was one of the reasons why I found last year just so I guess challenging and just boring. This year, however, I've switched to and linguistics, which means it's like weighted 50-50. So I have way more modules this year in linguistics, which I love because I came to this university in particular to study linguistics because I want to get a degree that's not just pure languages, because as much as I'm interested in that, I want to know more about the science behind language, the evolution of language, or the like sociology, just everything to do with language that you could possibly know, because it ties together with literally everything. And I want to do an episode basically just talking about my excitement about languages, because there's a lot to say about it and so many people don't really know that. But it's definitely one of my big interests in life. Well, I hope so, because I'm spending $9,000 a year learning about it. So but so it's been very, very, very busy. I didn't realize actually how much work it would be. But it's okay. This week as well, like I've only had my linguistics modules, and so I've only really had half of my modules, and next week I get another 7 classes, so that's going to be really intense. And on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I've got on Wednesday, Thursday, I've got 9 a.m.s for 3 hours lectures, and then Friday I've got a 10 a.m. 2-hour lab. I've got a lab for linguistics. I write lab reports now. Like, I feel like a scientist, and I feel like a physicist as well, because we're doing like sound waves and MRI scanning and stuff, and it's so weird for me to be doing science because I'm not a scientist. I do languages, for good's sake. But that just shows like how scientific linguistics is, and a lot of people say it's not. So there you go. It is the science of language for a reason. But that's what I do on a Friday, and then I've got a follow-up seminar. So it's quite good how like my modules for linguistics are. Wednesday is purely my one module, which is qualitative research, which is a struggle, and I've got to do a research project on that this term. So I've got 10 weeks to conduct my own research about whatever I want, which is so broad. So I'm going to focus on culture for that. Thursdays, it's sociolinguistics, which is my favourite module ever. It's so interesting. And again, another project on that this term, which will be probably about why we say different things for the same word. Like, sofa and couch. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I am. And then Friday is phonetics and phonology, which is just like how we speak. And again, another research project on that, which is so fun. And then, okay, right, so my absolute high of the week, and I'm already getting excited to tell you, but I have landed my dream job. Literally exactly what I want to do when I'm older, and kind of what I've just been doing with you guys there. Basically, the university were looking to hire a research assistant for podcast production and audio editing for an organization based in linguistics, culture, language, that kind of area. And this is literally what I want to go into. And when I saw the job offer, I was like, I want to do that. I'm going to get that job. Manifested it. And let me tell you, I manifested it well because I got it. And when I saw the email, I was like, oh my God, like, that's incredible. But then I saw that it was like a 36-hour week. And I was like, I can't do that. I've got studies. So I went on like this Teams chat with my supervisor, who luckily is one of my like linguistics module tutors. So like I explained to him, like, because obviously he knows I'm a student. So I was like, do you think I can still do it? Like, would you want me even though I'm a student? And he was like, well, yeah, it's up to you. Like, if you think you can balance it. But long story short, I'm now a research assistant and I'm so excited because I get to work with materials and interview materials, and it's going to be a long term, but that job finishes in the middle of November, so it's like if I struggle with it, it's only for a month. So I'm very excited for that. That's definitely been a high of the week. And yeah, I've just definitely felt like, I don't know, even though it's been really, really intense with the first few modules, and like on Wednesday it was the first time I sat there like, what the hell am I doing? I was like, I don't understand any of this. Like, it makes no sense. But then at the same time this week, I felt like a big girl. I don't know. Like, I feel clever this year. Because last year, I don't know, like, nothing was challenging me. But this year, I feel like an actual student again. And I've got to commute to campus on a bus and spend my time on campus more and just really get into the nitty-gritty side of student life. And I'm really excited. The low, I think, is that it's money. Like, all of this is money. I'm spending a lot of money on bus passes, Pret coffee subscriptions, because that is vital. And like, I want to, like, last year I was so frugal with my money and I just didn't really have a good time. And like, it's a good thing because I saved a lot for this year, but I don't know, and I'm paying utilities and everything this year as well. So a lot of money's going out, but I want to treat myself. Like, I really want to buy some new clothes, and if my mum is listening to this, she'll hate me for saying that, but it's a new season. Literally, I don't need any more clothes, but I really want a leather bomber jacket because I've lost mine. I don't know where it's gone, but I really want a new one, so I might invest in that. And I've got a job, so I'm going to get paid. So, but yeah. And I want to do more like pub nights this year, like with the flat. Oh yeah, and on top of all of that work I'm doing, I'm also part of the German Society, and I'm on the exec, so I'm PR officer, which means I've got to post like every day on my social media, on the German social media, like all the events we've got, and it's a lot of work. Like, I feel like my own social media, my own podcasting, all of this is gonna suffer over the next term for sure. So I do apologize for that, but on the weekends, this is what I'm trying to like free up for on the weekends, like me time, kind of just catching up on sleep for one. Like, today was the first time in ages I've slept until 9 a.m. I was like, oh my God, yes. I didn't even feel guilty. I loved it. Put my washing on, had a good breakfast. Like, yeah, today's been a good day already. And I feel well rested. But just now I just felt so shitty with the flu. So that's not fun. Last night I was meant to go out. We all preed and then we were meant to go to Spoons, but then we couldn't get served because it was so busy. But then we tried to go into the club, it was empty, so we came back, and I was like, you know what, you guys go later, I'm going to go to bed. Good decision. I watched some TikTok and then went to sleep, and it was a great night. Because I wasn't too drunk. Like, I was drunk, but I feel fine this morning, which is even better. But yeah, a bit of gratitude, I guess, to kind of share with you guys. Like, I know this is a 10-minute weekly recap, but I've got a lot to share with you. Yeah, I'm just really thankful to have a fresh start this year, because last year, as you know, like, it was so sucky. It was just horrible. I hated it, and I really did take it for granted. Like, I was living on campus last year, and I was just not using the student life to my advantage. Like, in the third term, I was, but then I was still so caught up in my mind of like recovery, and I need to go on a walk 3 times a day. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, my mind was just so fogged. And I really wish I did take a gap year for that, because then I would have enjoyed first year so much more. And I would have been able to go out without the fear of anxiety the next day, or hangxiety, I guess. And like, because I was forcing myself to go out, but this year I'm going to go out when I want to go out, and just trust myself that I'll be okay, I guess. And that's another episode I want to talk to you about, this concept of self-trust, which I think is just so important. And people don't really talk about it a lot, so I'm definitely going to talk about that with you guys in the next episode. So, getting into the episode now, I'm relating this to my recent blog post about a new month, a new mindset, because I don't know, especially like as we move into the colder month now, it's getting a bit colder. Well, today looks like a really nice day. Like, I haven't been outside yet, but it looks really nice. But as we get into like colder, obviously sad season, I guess, we need to like keep these things in mind. Over the summer, like, I had such a good time, and I didn't really have any intentions or any goals as such, other than literally just enjoy it and just have a good time, and use that time to enjoy food freedom, and just don't really think about what you're doing, like, in a good way. Like, be spontaneous, just enjoy the summer, spend the money, make memories. And that is exactly what I did, and I just had such a good summer, and I'm just gonna keep raving about it, because it's not like I'm living still in the summer. Like, I know it's over, but it was just so good, and I'm just so happy I've managed to have that summer, because I have not been able to have a summer like that literally my whole life. So I'm so happy about that. But now we're moving into a new term as well, and for a lot of you who are at university, it is hard to get back into it, because you've just had this summer with all your friends at home, and now you're kind of back on your own again. And uni is lonely. Like, this is why it's just so important to recognize some of these things that I'm going to talk about. And just really just protect your own energy and just prioritize yourself. Yeah, these are 8 of my own personal goals that I'd like to share with you guys, and give you some kind of ideas about who you might want to be this month, or maybe even like this the rest of the year kind of thing. These goals differ quite a lot from the summer, as like I'm studying, and I talk a lot about balance, because it's a struggle with the amount of stuff I've got on, but we're going to get into it. So the first goal for me is about choosing to focus on balance. Now, I said before, like, I've got my own studies, I've got this new job, I've got German exec. I want to focus on myself, obviously. I want to have time to go on my morning walks, to go get coffee on my own, to even study on my own. And then after uni, when I come back from campus, I want to have that evening, if I'm not doing anything, to just stare at Netflix, or, I don't know, just do stuff for myself. Have a long shower, just do some self-care, or just have some downtime. And then I also want to be able to go on weekends to go see my boyfriend, or go see other friends, go home for a couple of days. Like, it's a lot on my plate, and I am really worried that I could just burn out from the amount of stuff I'm doing. But I'm excited. Like, I wanted this for so long, like a lot of stuff to do, and now I have it. So yeah, that's just made me really, really excited. And I know that a lot of the time, like, I'm going to go up and down with this, and university is always one of those things where I do often go like up and down in my mind, like, oh, I love it or I hate it. And that's okay, like, that's normal. And I'm allowing myself to think like that and just giving myself permission, I guess, to think negatively about it, but then combat those thoughts by saying, remember what you thought yesterday about uni, like, you love it. But yeah, like, this year, I don't know, I just think it's going to be different, and I'm really manifesting it. And I think I've got the manifestation and the whole law of attraction thing under my wing now, and I really know how to use it to my advantage. And yeah, like, I don't know, I'm just so excited for study and the feeling of submitting assignments again. I don't know, I need to start planning them. But yeah, and this year as well, like, I can't really skip any seminars, especially for linguistics. Like, with my language ones, yeah, I probably could every now and again, but I cannot miss a linguistics seminar. I will just struggle so much, because my boyfriend was like, oh, I could come see you Tuesday night. And I was like, no, Wednesday is my hardest day. Like, that's the module I don't know what's going on. So I was like, no, sorry. And I was like, no, I want to see you. But I was going to be like, I could miss it, but I know that I'd be really behind. So I really do want to prioritize my studies. But then, as I said, it's just about balance and just being aware if I'm burning out and taking a step back. And maybe that means not go on campus that day, but then recognize the, like, consequences of that, I guess. Because last year my attendance was so low, and I don't know why, because I always said how bored I was, but that was because I was at home quite a lot. So I don't know. Going on from this, my second goal is kind of about creating a sustainable routine to help with this balance. And this routine has to be, like, I have to be able to be consistent with it. And I talked about in my last one? In a recent episode, about kind of the importance of routine, but also realizing it's not that important as much as you think. Like, yeah, I crave routine sometimes, but now I'm just kind of enjoying just kind of living, just like living life, and not worry if I haven't done my ice rolling on my face or my skincare or going to bed, reading a book, or waking up and journaling. Like, if I don't do a step in my morning routine, like, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, I want to get into a good night routine, like after dinner, that kind of routine. Because I really don't know what to do after dinner. Like, what do you do after dinner? Being in a flat, I guess we watch a movie, or we might just chat for a bit. I don't know, like, we might go do stuff, might go to the pub. But when I'm on my own, I'm like, what do I do after dinner? And usually that's when I'll do a podcast episode, or I'll read, I'll watch Netflix. But for like 3 hours, it's kind of a lot. Yeah, I just want to kind of focus on having a routine, but like not getting so overwhelmed by it. Like, last year I had this really strict routine and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. But I felt like I had to do it because I wanted to be that girl, and that girl trend is just so toxic. Like, you do not need a routine to be healthy or happy or have a good life. Like, just live the life you want to live, and yeah, just not worry if you haven't worked out that day. Like, I've learned recently, especially with like university, I do not need to work out every day. Like, I'll be walking around campus all day, or just sitting and studying all day. Like, that alone is hard work. Like, I always think that you've got to be physically exerting like energy to get hungry, or I don't know, but like, if you have a whole day studying, that's going to exhaust you. You don't need to do a workout. And with a lot of the timings of my like seminars this year, like, a lot of them are really early, so I think I'm going to have to start doing workouts in the evenings if I want to work out, and then be okay if I come back and be so tired that I can't and I don't have the energy, because that's absolutely fine as well. Going back to the whole balance thing, and I'm going to talk about this a bit later as well, I want to make time for socializing as well, because I love the people I'm living with currently, and I want to socialize with them. I want to see people who live in like different houses that I haven't seen all summer, and catch up with different people, catch up with people from different unis, and my friends and my boyfriend and my family. Like, I want to make time for them as well. But I think that is like a subtopic of balance and routine and fitting that in, because if I don't fit it in, it's not the end of the world. Like, I'm always going to see people around, and I don't know, it's just, I want to be open-minded. If someone says on campus, like, if I've got a big 2-hour break, if someone's like, do you want to go get a coffee? Don't, like, shut them out and be like, yeah, okay. Just chat with them. Like, I don't know, just be more social, because last year I just was not social, and that definitely hindered my own progress, I guess. On top of this, I guess these all kind of flowing together. But goal number 3 is to set limits and boundaries for myself and recognize when I am low on energy and I'm about to burn out. I went through a phase, like this whole burnout thing. Again, probably another big topic on like a whole episode I could do. But I remember back when I was doing GCSEs, when we had mock exams like in January, I burnt out so badly. Like, it got to a point where in the February, and I know I was 16, but this is the first burnout I remember having. But in the February, my dad like took me out of school to go on holiday, and that sounds really ridiculous to say, but like, we went to Portugal for like a few days. He took us out of school, and I just needed a change of routine, and that really did help. But I just noticed literally the burnout I was facing was just horrendous, and all my teachers were just so worried. And that was a really dark time in my life. And yeah, I was 15, 16. I was quite young, but burnout is scary. So I don't know, the scholars just kind of talking about, I need to know when to say no, I guess. I need to know when I need to put the book away for the evening, or maybe, yeah, as I said earlier, just don't go to that seminar if I'm really burnt out, and reach out for help as well. Like, don't be scared to email your personal tutor or text your mum. At uni, honestly, me and my mum text every day. If I have a thought in my mind, I just text her. Even if she doesn't respond to it, like, it's just a little thing, or like, because she's really interested in linguistics and sociology as well, like identity in that kind of area, because she's trained to be a counsellor now as well. So all those things just relate to that. So if I'm in a seminar or lecture and I've learned something about it, I'll just be like, oh, hi, I've just learned this. And then usually she'll come back with saying, oh, I've got a book on that. And I don't know, like, we chat all the time. So if I am ever struggling, like, I know exactly who to turn to. So just, yeah, don't be scared to phone your mum, cry to your mum. I do that very often. So it's not a weakness at all. And remember that, especially at uni, like, a lot of the time, everyone else around you are burnt out and struggling, and everyone is dealing with this really, not the same, but like really, really similar emotions. And unfortunately, most people our age, like, don't deal with them, which is just so detrimental, because then you do burn out easily. Oh, yeah, I want to learn to say no. And I did learn this last year, but I focused more on the no than the yes. And I've literally, the first day moving in here, I literally wrote this massive poster on my wall, and it says, just say yes. Say yes to new things, catch ups with friends, nights out. You are only 19 once. And that is just so true. Like, this year is apparently the best year at university, because your studies get real and they're fun and so interesting. Yeah, they're hard work, but this is what uni is about. You're living with people you want to live with. It's more city living, obviously, because you're not on campus. And I don't know, like, being 19 is like 18, you're a baby still. Like, you just turned adult. 19, like, I feel so much older. Like, the past year I've gained so much life experience. It's ridiculous, and I've just grown so much. So yeah, I'm excited for this year, as I keep saying. The next goal, it's not really a goal, but next thing I want to do is just treat myself. Like, buy that coffee. Like, I've got a coffee subscription because I know that I want my happy moment in a day, especially if I'm on campus all day in the winter. I'm gonna want a pumpkin spice. Like, I need that in my life. Just don't worry about money or whatever. Like, if you want to go out for breakfast on your own, or like, I don't know, like trying to schedule in like a pub night with your friends, or going out for dinner with the odd person, like friends coming to, I don't know, like just treat yourself. Go get that coffee on your morning walk. Go get that bagel, or treat yourself to a bottle of wine. I don't know, like, don't be scared to treat yourself. Like, it's so important to recognize when you're like, I really want this right now in my life. I want this item of clothing. I want these new shoes. I want this little something. Like, as long as it doesn't get out of hand, or you use it as like a coping mechanism, I think it's a really healthy way to practice self-care and just let yourself treat yourself, I guess. Especially on lower days where you're like, oh, I just want this, or I just need a little something. I don't know. Just treat yourself. The next one is definitely a big one, and it's all about making time for friends and socializing. And I have just touched on this, so I'll make it short. But as you know, last year I didn't socialize. Like, I did loads at the start, and then I just got overwhelmed and did too much, so then I just stopped. And it was just so unhealthy for me to just go the complete opposite way. So I faced a lot last year, but this year I am already finding good balance. Like, most of the day I don't really see people. Yeah, in the kitchen I might bump into people, but then in the evenings is when people are kind of more around because everyone's back from campus having dinner. But yeah, I just want to make time to be more social, and like the German socials are so fun, so that's good. And yeah, just accepting those little like dinner dates, coffee out, and yeah, I don't know, just focus being more social, more out there. Because again, I'm only 19 once. Who cares if you're hungover? Like, grow up. Although hangover is way worse this year than last year. The next goal is to, I think this is a really important one, and this is the last goal that I want to discuss with you guys, and it's just to acknowledge all the little achievements you achieve on each day. In this one is something that, again, I'm going to talk about in my next episode about self-trust and like believing in yourself, because a lot of the time we really neglect all those little things we do each day. No matter how big or small they are, they're so important to recognize. For example, some days I wake up and I'm like, I really, really don't want to work out. And then I don't. And then my past self would be really, really, like, I'd feel so guilty, and all those emotions that, used to come up and I'd hate, but that was the other part of my brain hating me, and that was just like lockdown speaking to me. And I promised myself I don't want to have those thoughts anymore, and I combat those negative thoughts with a positive thought. Like, this is a positive thing and an achievement that I haven't worked out today, because I've listened to myself and celebrated the fact that I don't want to. And that is progress, and that is an achievement. Another achievement could be literally getting out of bed. Those days where you just feel so low, that achievement in itself, even if you've accomplished nothing else in your day, you've got up, you've got changed. Yeah, you might have got changed into some more sweats or some more pajamas, and you might have spent the whole day watching Netflix, but you've got up, you've done something. Like, that is an achievement. Just little achievements, and even big achievements like getting that job I've just landed, or completing that assignment, attending all your seminars in a day. Like, last year for me, that was a huge achievement, and I just think it's so important that we recognize these, write them down. Again, going back to the whole treat yourself thing, buying yourself a little something small, getting a cookie, I don't know, like, and telling people about it as well. Like, some people might think it's silly, but or you're just talking about yourself so much, but you're not. You want to share your achievements with other people. And a lot of the time, I feel like this as well. Like, I'm talking about myself a lot, and people don't care. And yeah, people might not care. But just for you to say that, even if literally no one responds, or like post it on your like private story, I don't know. That's why like writing it down is also another really good thing to do. Or another thing I like to do, which is a bit odd, but record like I do this quite a lot to my best friend and my sister. I record like a Snapchat voice note and I send it to them. And I like tell them about something that's happened, and then I send them a text like, ignore that, like don't listen to it, and they usually don't. Like, I just wanted to like tell someone that. And yeah, like usually that always works. And that's why, again, journaling is just such a good process for that, because you can look back on that as well. I don't really use my journal to look back on. I just use it as an outlet to write things down and to focus on my own mental health. Like, that is such a good way to do it. And again, the importance of journaling, as I always tell you, no matter how big or small they are, always celebrate your achievements. And yeah, just acknowledge when you're smashing it, and maybe when you're not as well. Just being okay on some days when you've done really little, but you've got out of bed. Like, the best days, I think, is when for literally the whole first half of the day, you feel so low, and you might think, why is that your best day? But then you might pick yourself back up. It might be like 3 o'clock. And again, this is another thing about motivation. Like, a lot of the time when I wake up and I feel like shit, I think, oh, that's it. That's like the rest of the day just written off. And then I feel shit all day. And my past self might come up saying, oh my God, you've not gone on your walk. You've not worked out. You've not moved all day. And then I use it in like a cycle, and I get worse and worse and worse. But then it always gets to a point in the like afternoon when I'm like, Ellie, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Just because your morning started off not right, you've got the whole half the day to make it better. And that doesn't mean go do your workout and go do all your productive stuff. No, it just means you can pick yourself back up. And those best days always are just so much better when like you then end it with, actually, I'm going to go on a night out, or I'm going to go socialize and not feel sorry for myself. That's kind of what I mean. Like, pick yourself back up by going into the kitchen in your flat or something and go, hi guys, I've had a bit of a bad day. I'm just thankful you guys are here. Or just not even saying that, just, I don't know, just going and socializing. Sometimes such a good way to just think, okay, I've had a bad day, just take my mind off it, not in an unhealthy way, like not in the way of pushing down your emotions, but that usually helps me. Thinking, okay, some mornings I'm like, I don't want to see anyone, I want to stay on my own, I want to be a slob. And then I think, no, let's go be social, come on, don't be like that. Some days obviously are harder than others, and some days I do feel sorry for myself all day. But then the next day I'm like, come on, Ellie, that was stupid. Like, pick yourself back up. And yeah, again, just acknowledging those days, because those days do suck, but we will have them. I hope some of these things I've talked about were helpful. I always think it's really beneficial for me to listen to other people's goals and ways of thinking for like a new month, a new reset, because then, yeah, that kind of helps you think, what do you want out of this month? So yeah, what do you want out of this month? What are some ways that you're going to change your mindset and be a new person again? Every day is a day to be brand new, as Taylor Swift would say. But you always have a chance to start over and just to enjoy it again. As I said, any point of the day you can restart, and don't be scared of that. A lot of people think if you wake up in a bad mood, it's going to be a bad day. No, you can change your mind at any point of the day. It's kind of exciting to actually think about, but every day is a chance to be brand new, and you can always change your routine. You can always change your mindset. Sometimes it just takes listening to a song or just seeing a random quote on the street, like, to just flick your mindset. I'm rambling again, so I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you enjoyed this episode, whether you were on your morning walk, you're on a break, you're having your coffee, your breakfast, whatever. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. And please, please, please share this with your friends. please leave a rating review. I don't know whether you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple. I think my analytics show that most watch it on Spotify. Listen to it on Spotify. But on Apple Podcasts, if you can go over onto there, you can actually leave like a written review. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about this podcast and what I can improve on, or what things you want to hear from me. I do enjoy doing these, and I am sorry that I have been neglecting it a bit, but I've just been so busy, and yeah, I'm going to get back onto it hopefully and try and do one every weekend, or do a couple every weekend to just get more material out for you guys, because I know this helps a lot of people and I love hearing that, like from friends and family. So yeah, keep sharing, keep smiling, and I hope you do have a really good week. And if you are struggling right now, just know that it's okay, and it always gets better. Always, always, always. The day can get better. Everything can get better. Just remember that. So I love you guys. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.